How to properly repair a rusted and damaged steel gate.
The problem with tubular steel is if there's pinholes or voids in the welds, water gets inside the tube and rusts. First, all the rusted and weakened steel needs to be cut out. While cutting it, I realized the steel was only 1/16 of an inch thick.
I had anticipated it being thicker, so now I had to come up with a way to rebuild it strong enough to support the new bracket for the control arm. I decided to use 1/8-inch thick angle iron. I'm using a 4.5-inch steel cutoff wheel and an angle grinder for all the cuts, buffing, and grinding. These cutoff wheels can be very dangerous if they bind or bend. They can shatter and the pieces will go flying.
Be sure to wear gloves, a face shield, and hearing protection.
Yeah, I know. I don't have gloves on. I forgot. I cut it to a length that would overlap the cutout area by at least 2.5 inches on each side. Also, I notched it to bypass the uprights. Any steel being welded has to be cleaned off of any rust and paint. I'm using an 80 grit flap disc for this. The angle iron will be welded to both the top and face of the tubular steel. This is much stronger than just welding a flat piece to the face. I also used a wire wheel on the grinder to get the hard-to-reach areas. Since this is only 1/8-inch thick angle iron welded to 1/16-inch thick steel, I decided to add a piece of 1/4-inch thick plate steel to the face of it, where the bracket goes for additional support. I aligned the pieces, placed them in my vise, and welded them together around all sides. Then I smoothed the welds with the same 80 grit flap disc. I placed the control arm bracket on the angle and steel piece and held them together in the vise while welding it in place. Smooth the weld out, then back to the gate we go. Now that's a pretty weld. Let's put it in place, clamp it to the gate, and weld it all around. I'm also welding it to the uprights, and all the sides and edges will have a solid weld. Once the welding is finished, I smooth out the welds, clean off the steel, and spray paint it with Rust-Oleum that matches the existing. It's a lot stronger and looks much better. The customer is very happy, and the gate works even better than before it broke.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share.